Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for joining us. Today,
What are we doing?
are bringing you a first impressions of Volfyirion Guilds
Are we doing another video? I thought we were taking a picture.
Games.
You asked me to put the box top on the table.
We just finished doing a gameplay that you can watch where I did really well.
Nope. Nope. You were decimated.
I did. Excuse me.
Decimated.
You have to watch the gameplay to see who really won.
The dragon was my friend. We decimated him. He became friends with the dragon because it was so frequently on his board.
That being said, I thought this would be a good video to do a played it once, first impressions. Granted, we've played a little bit more than once, but first impressions of this game. Because we have a friend, Alex from Board Game Co., that had played the original without the guilds, upgrades, and expansions. And as far as I'm concerned, this game's really, really good with the caveat of you need a few
pieces.
You need a few pieces, that are coming into this expansion, Kickstarter or GameFound or wherever it's listed. Yeah. I'm not sure. I have no idea where it's listed. Me neither. It could be anywhere on the internet at this point. Mm-hmm. Coming to a MySpace near you, Shira. First impressions, final thoughts. What's your, you taught me this game. You took the time to learn it.
I did.
Teach it. You're pretty thrilled about it. You've already informed me that we need to order a couple hundred sleeves.
Yes, because I'm keeping this forever and ever. It is like probably the first game I've successfully taught.
That's true.
So, I mean,
a little bit of nostalgia there.
Nostalgia.
Now, you
and
tried.
It's fun because I beat you every single time. I am so good at this game. I'm great. I'm wonderful.
I'm glad you think highly of yourself, not so highly of me. Give the audience a little bit of an overview of what you're doing in this game. There's a lot of nuance here, and there's actually a lot of depth when it comes to this deck building experience. Yeah. A lot of stuff that I still haven't had the chance to explore, like ripping crystals from this dragon in order to cull your opponent's discard pile.
That sounds fun, actually.
That being said,
if there's like an annoying card.
What's the core system of this?
Core system. All right, so we each have 3 cities, and they have defense values of 8, 9, and 10. The goal is to survive with at least one of your cities standing while destroying your opponent's cities. You flip them over to demonstrate when they are destroyed. You also have a guild vault. That's part of this new guild expansion, and it is a way of storing a card to use for future use. Also, as you lose more and more during the game,
a little bit of a catch-up mechanic.
There's a little catch-up mechanic that you did not utilize. What else is there? So you start with a very, very basic deck. You are building your deck by purchasing cards. There's 3 different currencies: battle points, there's knowledge points, and then there's command points. Command points, the green ones, are the money. That's how you buy cards from the card row. The battle points are how you try and attack the cities, and the knowledge points are how you move the dragon and foresee things or change up the card row a little bit. You can build up the defense of your cities by placing troops or buildings. Buildings will give you continuous resources, and if you manage to sequence it properly with the flags, you can get even better resources. And then troops just add defense. I have a troop right here. If you have this troop's defense on your city, it adds 3 plus the 10. So for Jesse to kill this city, he would have had to have paid 13 battle points, which would have negated then the troop goes away, and then he would still have to attack the city that has a defense of 10 on its own. The troop sacrifices itself for the city.
Now, if that seems like a lot, however, there are also a ton of potential chaining, culling, and just one-use abilities that cycle cards out of your deck in order to do super powerful things, like rip the head off of the troop when you have just enough to destroy the city as long as that troop isn't there.
So lots of times you can actually destroy your own cards to get really powerful one-time abilities that allow you to do these powerful actions. Like this troop, for example, if I would destroy this troop, then I could just remove a building from one of your cities that is giving you great resources that I don't particularly like. I had, then there's also, I didn't even get into this, then there's also Volfyrion's lair. That's the dragon. He has a lair full of wonders that are just constant resources as well that get played out. You can tap your opponents to make sure that he can't use those resources during the game. They also come with the culling ability. As you purchase them, you get to cull something from your hand, your play area, or your discard. You also can... Oh, so I had a really awesome wonder that allowed me to move the dragon one final time. That's how I won.
Yeah, again, didn't win. It's negotiable, but you have to watch the gameplay in order to be proven about that. I told her to start this video by bragging about how the fact she won, it made her feel more confident because she was feeling a little down after the gameplay. Let's be honest. I mean, it was discouraging to be destroyed so.
I want to hit you over the head so badly on camera.
Here's the thing. This game really comes down to two main core elements. The first is going to be deck building.
Yes.
Adding cards, looking for what's going to sequence and chain, getting flags and abilities, and placing them all across your board. Instead of just a hand of cards, you're actually working with a whole tableau, which is why these mats come in handy, because you're building your cities, establishing guards, establishing resource generators. You're adding your crystals over here that are going to, your citadels that are going to start creating more and more things.
Let's use terminology.
Names.
Okay, guards are called troops. Buildings are buildings.
The other element that is worth paying attention to is going to be really the deck management. I was going to say hand management, but really the deck management.
Which deck? The main deck?
Your deck management.
Yes.
Because you're really, really focused on when do you get rid of cards?
Yes.
When do you use special and powerful abilities? When do you take everything you've been building and allow it to implode on itself in order to blow up your neighbor's city?
And when do you store things for future use?
When do you store things for future use as well?
I did not use that ability once during the game.
I did, and it destroyed one of your cities.
Yeah, so...
Came in clutch. That's how I won.
No.
First
the title of this video is going to be Shira 1.
That's not the title. It'll be Jesse 1, First Impressions.
Shira 1.
What are your first impressions, final thoughts of this game?
I love this game. It was so much fun. It comes up there with Super Fantasy Brawl and Fort Glory.
Two head-to-head, two player games that you like.
Two-player head-to-head games. It's a great couples game. Cut. Can we cut? We have to cut now. You smirked. You can't smirk.
Go ahead.
It's a great two-player head-to-head game. And I really liked it. I'm gonna use a standard ranking system. I know you struggle with ranking systems.
Are you doing rankings?
I am gonna rank it. That's
okay.
On my reviews, I rank things, and this is on my channel. So, I would rank this a 5 out of 5.
Really?
This was great. I like the components, the art. I didn't even talk about the art. Each card is individual.
Everything's unique and
really
beautiful.
Pretty. The colors. Is magnificent. There's a lot of extras we haven't even incorporated yet that I'm excited to incorporate.
I want to read a book in this universe.
There is.
Oh.
I think there's a chapter book.
Is there really?
I think so. Wait, I may be confusing it with another game, but
it's gorgeous. Whatever the case.
Whatever the case.
Whatever the case. I say that a lot.
You do. It might be your saying.
Here's the thing. I know for a fact that Board Game Co. played this before there was deluxe upgraded components, before there was a giant miniature, and more specifically, before there were tokens.
Yes.
This game is such an advanced deck builder.
And before there was the vault.
It has such a degree of sequencing and chaining and cards. Like, I can completely understand the main complaint I've seen from people before this guild expansion was not tracking resources.
They did not want to keep mentally tracking it, which
is totally fair.
Yeah. Once you get past the first 3 rounds, then you're like, okay, well,
both of us are hungrily grabbing these.
Yeah, we're all splayed out, and we were preparing for the next turn while we were each taking turns. Yep. So it was helpful to have this amount, honestly.
Yeah, I think these are an essential addition to the experience of the game.
They're easy to pick up also. They're not very fumbly. Sometimes people try to be fancy with weird shapes. This was great. You pick it up, you literally just drop them all down. If you have them on cities and on your wonders, you could just keep them there. I would just flip them over to mark that I had used it. So I used that connotation.
Yeah, this isn't a 5 out of 5 for me yet.
No?
I know.
Because you lost? I think that might be the reason.
It's a lot of fun, but when you beat up on the person you're playing with so thoroughly that they have to pretend like they won, you really can't give it a 5 out of 5. This is a solid 4 out of 5 for me right now.
I'm curious what happens when we start doing more things.
Happy to play it. I think there's a lot more depth that I can explore. I'm looking forward to figuring out what that is. The question for me and the question with how this raises is how deep does it go? Yeah. As we play another 4, 5, 6 games together.
It's massive. We haven't gone through this entire deck yet, but it might just be more of the same cool cards.
I'm wondering. I know there's not a lot of repeat cards in there.
Right.
And what I'm curious about is how deep can this go? Can I start seeing and predicting what you're about to do? Start subverting it. Start planning just a few turns before, like flying a dragon down that keeps you from destroying a city moments before you're going to. You did a few of those things to me. I'd like to return the favor.
Because I won.
A little bit. Either way.
It's a keeper.
Yeah, it's a good game. If you haven't checked this out and you like deck builders, you like two-player head-to-heads, I think it's worth giving it a closer look.
Very much.
We did a sponsored gameplay with them over, well, here on my channel as well. But
my channel.
But we didn't tell them that we were going to produce a
review.
Played it once or a short, brief kind of first impressions / review. Both of us are very charmed, and I think surprised by how charmed we are. The rulebook was a bit of a slog to get through.
That was the expansion rulebook. That it might just be a prototype. I don't think they finished finalizing it yet. When I read the actual rulebook that came in the box, it was much more,
a little bit more direct,
more easier to. That wasn't grammatically correct. It was easier to read.
Well,
clear,
it's a good thing
concise.
you don't write rulebooks.
It is. It's a great thing. I would not do very good at that job.
Either way, it took a little bit. It took a little bit to sink our teeth into to figure out exactly how to play it. But once we were up and running and had a chance to swim through this a few times, yeah, I'm looking forward to the next play, and that one will be off camera, which I think is probably the highest praise I can give a game.
Yeah.
So, whatever the case, whatever you do, remember to do the important thing. Deny that she ever won.
Get out and play good
Down below.
games.
We'll see you next time. Thanks.